Hi, I'm Rob Robertson, and we're talking about building inner trust. This is a fascinating conversation because of the stress that's increasing at the moment, and there's a bit of a two streams. There's those that are feeling more stressed and those that are feeling more trusting. So I'd like to introduce, with me today is Tinika, affectionately known as Teeny, and her business is Angels and Energy. She's an amazing healer and intuitive guide. And what else do we say to introduce you, Teeny?
Well, you could say all of those things. I am definitely all of those things. And I'm also an artist as well. So I take inspiration from nature, from women, from my own intuition. And I love the creative process. And I always bring that into the work that I do and into the guidance that I provide to people. So I love using art as a healing tool. And I really focus on the trust that I have within myself to let the pieces flow, to let my healing flow. And I'm all about helping people. That's my aim, is just to help and guide people to wherever they need to go and to whatever they're passionate about. And that is what really is important to me, is people finding their passion and what they want to do in life.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
And we're very lucky to have Mary I always question whether I'm pronouncing it correctly, the yoga guru, Reiki guru, or what more should I say?
I'm also a retreat facilitator and embodiment practitioner, and also a part-time caterer. So a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Been an incredible journey that I've been on in terms of like healing myself and helping other people do the same. And I'm really, really excited to bring all of the knowledge that I've gained in the last few years through these processes here to this conversation and to future endeavors, which I know will come up in conversation later. Thank you for having me.
All right, awesome. And then quick introduction. I am intuitive, healer and medium, and specialize in energy. My big thing is reading energy in people and in business, and work with teams and business people around the energy that drives their action. So fascinated with the whole quantum mechanics and the theory that everything's connected. The science has proven that, and that is what drives me, is helping people understand what drives their action and their energy, both personally and in business. So what we want to talk about today is trust and our whole journey around building trust. And one of the fundamental things for me is getting out of the head and really feeling and sensing. When I was Mr. Positive in the head and turning everything to positive, I was very linear and logical. And when you're in the head, you can't really have an instant trust and knowing. You have a processing and a thought, and that's being in the head. And then over time, as I've dropped into doing a lot of emotional work and really connecting and feeling okay, then the self-esteem has grown at the heart level and increased trust to the stage where you just have a sense or a knowing, and you almost feel like you can predict the future. And that is the magic of trust. And for me, that is what it's all about, is just being driven by passion and purpose, knowing what your journey is, knowing what you're good at, and just feeling and sensing what the future holds. That's my take on trust. How about Miriam? What's your thoughts on the trust journey for you?
Ooh, trust for me has been a journey of just like inner knowing and finding that awareness. So yes, just like you referenced earlier, coming out of your head and leading and living from your body, from your heart, from your gut, and learning to decipher what certain feelings are coming from certain intelligence centers of your body, and growing and learning how to connect these intelligence centers to work as one. So trust is something that can be very complicated, but also something very simple, because when you learn to trust your intuition or just trust yourself, you know that your body is making the decision as much for you as your head is. And so, yeah, trust for me is finding a connection between all of those things and making decisions that feel good.
I love that, because that's what the body knows. And in fact, everything's connected at an energetic level, and you can use kinesiology, I can pronounce the word. You can use different pendulums, all sorts of things. It's just tuning into the energy. And there is a right path and a blueprint of what's right for us. It's just if we get out of the way and do it and feel it and sense it, that's when the magic happens, the flow. Tini, your thoughts on trust?
My thoughts on trust. It's been a journey for me to build my own inner trust and inner confidence. And I would say that the more that I trusted myself and the more that I trusted, this voice that kept saying, for example, I used to live in London in a corporate job that kept saying, go back to New Zealand, go back to New Zealand. And I would kind of just quieten it down. I wouldn't listen. And it wasn't until I listened and actually came back to New Zealand that a lot of things started happening that were very in alignment, absolute game changers. My life is completely different, and there's many experiences that I'm having now that I would never have imagined that I'd be having, and they all feel great and they all feel good, and they're different from what society thinks or what I used to think that I should be doing, and I'm loving life. So when I learned to hear that voice and then to trust it, that's when I started living a life that I think is so in alignment and so in flow. So yeah, that's my little journey.
Beautiful.
Into it. Yeah.
And that feels really good about what you're saying about just stepping into that trust and knowing, because it's a journey, I guess, for all of us, where we're not always in that place where we trust everything. But I'm a big believer that nothing's an accident, and that's education. When we get off track, it's education to get on track, or everything's given to us for education.
Me and Mariam have been really lucky to experience Rob's de-shedding method and his proven tools that really help you drop into your heart and also allow you to focus on your goals and your intentions and actually find out what the hell they are, because most people don't know what their goals are or what they're passionate about or what they're good at. So we've been so lucky to experience the magic of the de-shedding method. And it really, really, really helps to, I found just to live with emotion, not live with it, but, accept my emotions and live from a place where emotion is okay to experience. So it's been so.
And to have a better understanding of it as well.
Yeah. Totally amazing.
There's been a big emphasis on just self-awareness that has come from taking on Rob's de-shedding method as like a standard tool in my toolkit in terms of like coping mechanisms and just life approach in general. So a big factor in that is the awareness of what emotions are surfacing and why. So using that like iceberg analogy, how the top of an iceberg is visible above the water about this much, but it's that big below the water, right? Mm-hmm. So when using the de-shedding method, it felt really good to just start to peel away. So like get rid of the top part of that iceberg and see what else floats up until eventually I find the core of that issue, and trusting the process and being willing to excavate in that realm has been very, very powerful and very potent. So obviously the willingness to do the work has to be there, but when you have the drive and you're given the tools, you're unstoppable. This is a really, really special approach to be given and to be taught. And I think we're all really, really excited to be able to facilitate the Soul Recharge weekend together to help share these tools and these coping mechanisms with others, so that they can find that trust and that sense of allowance and self-awareness to surface in them also for great, to be their highest selves.
Oh, beautiful. That gets me excited thinking about the whole trust and the influence of our emotions, because it's our emotions that lead our thoughts. So if we want to quieten down the mental stuff, it's our inner emotions that are hidden in that iceberg you talk of, and and we don't get what we want. We get what our unconscious stuff and our pain body provides us. So it's having an awareness on these tools to start looking at what's the same patterns. Like I used to always work for a boss that yelled at me. And that was because there was this pattern of abuse or me not standing up to who I am and shining and being able to hold the space to not take that. Whatever the pattern is, you keep giving that. We get given the same relationship constantly until you start realizing it. And it's having those tools to start really looking at what's occurring and how our negative emotions are the biggest gifts we can ever have, because it's our negative emotions that are coming up. It's our pain body coming up to be released. But society and schools don't teach us that our negative emotions are useful and powerful stuff to release, to de-shit and let go. We get taught negative emotions are depression or whatever, anxiety and all these things. And we need to go to the doctor maybe and sort out these problem emotions. But when we see emotions as a simple feedback tool to release and to get rid of our stuff, that's when we start changing our whole ability to be free, because our whole body wants to heal, and our emotions and our path, we want to be free and flowing. And it's all about just learning the different techniques in this toolkit to be able to release the stuff we don't need and have more of this passion and purpose. And what we talk about also with the one-page plan is tuning into the emotions that drive our passion and our purpose. So it's our purpose which drives our actions, and it's our vision of what's possible, and that's the big picture that drives us. And so when we're really on our one-page plan, really clear about what our purpose is, and we do that in our retreat, do it with our clients, of course, in coaching, as well as if we're really clear about what drives us and our purpose and our vision where we're going, then that's what gets us out of bed in the mornings, and that's the driver. And then as negative emotions come up, we have the toolkit to embrace them, enjoy them, and release them. And it's that freedom of that journey to be on track and be driven, feeling unstoppable. And for me, that is the big thing. I have a lot of days where I feel that negative stuff and I don't feel great, but that is what I embrace, even though it's not fun when you're not feeling great and a whole lot of negative stuff's coming up. It's not fun at the time, but if you frame it and know that that's just a form of healing to release our pain body, then you embrace it. And while it's not necessarily fun, you know it's releasing and debagagizing and getting rid of stuff so that we can then be free inside and really connect to source and be part of the flow. Because nothing's an accident, it's everything's connected, and it's just a matter of releasing our stuff and being empowered to know how to do that, to feel on track and be driven. And that's what the magic is to be. And really good emotional fitness is about being able to experience the full array of emotions. So you're completely fine with anxiety, completely fine with negative stuff that's happening, but know that that's all part of releasing our stuff and having the toolkit to release it and grow from it and have that as a real opportunity. So that's what I love, is talking about the emotions, because emotion stands for energy and motion, and everything's connected in the world. Every proton and neutron has an influence on some, maybe subtle influence on everything else in the world. So if we can logically try and look at that and understand it, and we're not going to get very far, apart from we're going to get increased stress, confusion, and a lot of the stuff that's happening with higher stress levels. But our heart is our biggest powerful mechanism for feeling, sensing, and it's that vibration of tuning in and feeling and being guided. As Tina talked about, it's that dropping into the letting it happen rather than the logical sort of, and society and family and parents say we have to do this. But when we really tune into what's right for us, that's when the magic happens, because we're on track for ourselves. So there's a little bit of a rant.
It's a beautiful rant. And it circles back to the whole point of trust, right? So trusting in yourself is the foundation of being able to trust anything in the outside world. So to trust that emotions that surface are surfacing for a reason. And even if that reason is a simple one, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'll have days where I'm having negative thoughts or I'm feeling a bit irritable, and I'll sit back and trust into what's going on. And it could be as simple as, I didn't drink enough water today. I'm hungry. I'm not well rested. Just like, just like babies and animals were if we don't take care of ourselves, then we're creating space for the not so savory things to surface. So the trusting in yourself, trusting that the body is intelligent and can communicate with the mind. It's just a matter of like lifting your ego a little bit to dial inward, as opposed to worry about so much about what's going on outward. And I think it's a really, really powerful knowledge to have in this life as a human being, no matter where you're from, who you are, how old you are. You know, in school we get taught to think, but we don't get taught how to feel. So this is the ultimate course on how to feel. And I think the Soul Recharge Weekend is one that will cultivate all sorts of feelings and all sorts of lessons for us, including ourselves, to feel and to trust.
Oh, yes, which brings us to that really exciting topic. Oh, I've been on many retreats in this crusade to understand everything around emotions that I can. But I've only ever been on weekend, or I did 7 days with Deepak Chopra, and they're normally a retreat, and they're a few days, and then you leave with connected to these amazing people, and you go back into your old habits to some degree. But what we're doing with the retreat that the three of us are running, we're very proud of, as we have the magical 3 days over 2 nights, but it's a 6-week journey after that. It's the group coaching, and there's 10 different modules via video, which you do in that 6 weeks, and you share the journey. So you're in this special family of people that you've spent the 3 days with or 2 nights with at Stargate Forest, and then you connect and share the journey over 6 weeks, because we probably heard the 21 days to create a new habit. So it's that journey rather than just a 3 days, which we're really proud of, because I don't know that other people are doing this in retreats, because what it's about is helping people build that trust, refocus, reset, and just allow it to be and be in flow. And that's the magic. And that's what I get excited about, because of me personally, from the anxiety and low self-esteem that I discovered by going to emotions, to what it feels like to just have a sense and knowing. And that is what the magic of life is. That's still a bit new, but that is what is so invigorating, to help people be on that journey.
I was going to use it as a segue to speak into what the weekend will look like and what each role will play will be. It seemed like a good segue to like actually talk about the weekend itself and what.
Yes, I love everything that you said, Rob. And retreats, I've been to a few in my time, and I just have to say, never regret a retreat. They are just an amazing chance to really take care of yourself and leave all of your responsibilities and worries behind. And it's a real investment in yourself and your future. I've met so many amazing people. You just level up every time you go to a retreat. And that's the magic of the 6-week follow-up support, is just going to be out of this world, because it is easy when you leave to go back to normal, and you know your old habits creep back and you kind of forget that it ever happened. But this 6-week support system is, it's just going to be life-changing. You're going to create really big, long-lasting change in your life, and we're all going to be doing it together. And I love supporting people on their journey. So I'm excited for the 6 weeks of follow-up support, and also to just make new friends that we'll probably have for the rest of our lives. So the magic of retreats is just so powerful.
And the group, by having a Facebook group specifically for this, then we'll share the journey and report in on how we're doing with each of the modules, and 3 Zoom coaching calls, group coaching calls, just to connect and really every 2 weeks after the retreat to really see how everybody's going. And really, in this space, it's about really being vulnerable and true, because if we're able to take responsibility and be honest with ourselves and front up, that's when we get massive realizations of how we can change, because we take responsibility for ourselves. And that's the beauty of this journey. It's not 3 days, it's 6 weeks. So what are our roles? Well, we'll all have turns at facilitating different things. The prime thing that I get really excited about is emotional fitness, and we'll be guiding you through the toolkit of emotional fitness and looking individually at where you're at. And as well as that, there is looking at the energy that drives actions. There's things like the energy enriching and energy non-enriching, energy draining, and doing these different exercises. As well as that, it's using the one-page plan. So the one-page plan is the emotions that drive our actions. And if we tune in, and it's something you can do on your smartphone, and we'll do that to really dream about anything that's possible. So we get clarity about where you're going. And if you're not sure, then that's our role, is to help support you. And there's also different guidance to really help. So when you're really clear about where you're going, why you're going, and then over the 6 weeks, it's whatever comes up is part of that releasing and refreshing and refocusing. It's releasing our stuff, our baggage, and that's a key part of the journey. And we all do it. Most days are releasing stuff and letting out emotion, and that's the exciting thing. Once we really get empowered with the tools to do it, you feel like you can handle anything. And so that's really, I guess, summary from my view. And then so all three of us will be doing different sessions at different times. And what about the nourishing yoga? And it's optional in the mornings, but I think most people tend to do it. But if you prefer to go for a bush walk in the unlikely event, you would want to do that rather than the magic of Miriam.
You can do both. There'll be time.
Nice.
So my role in this very beautiful and transformative weekend is to get you into your physical bodies. So a lot of the work we are doing is flexing mental muscles, shifting and tapping into emotional fitness and what that means. So a lot of it is a lot internal work. And I think when we are on a path to doing that kind of work, it's really, really important to remember that we are humans in physical bodies, in physical forms. So I'll be guiding several yoga journeys at the start of every morning to get us into our bodies, to get us grounded, to get us feeling and connecting in that way. And also as a means of cultivating space to work through our emotions, to dabble in our emotional fitness as well. So I feel like I'll be nourishing you physically in that aspect. And I also have the privilege of nourishing you from a culinary standpoint. I'll be catering the entire weekend for us. So aside from, we'll have beautiful, healthy, nourishing, colorful meals that will span different cuisines from all over the world. And I am formally trained in the culinary arts. So I'm really, really excited to share two really, really massive passions of mine, which is just body work and awareness, and food and feeding. So we'll be getting nourished on all levels. Yeah, as you should be. So that's what I'm here to help with, and just make everybody feel taken care of. Use some motherly energy to nourish and carry us into this big weekend, and keep that flow into the weeks that follow as we all develop new habits and continue to shed some layers and get to the core of ourselves.
Shed that.
What about you, Teeny? What are you bringing to the table for us?
So it's so interesting, Mariam, because I practice yoga as well, and I've been so lucky as well to have you as a yoga teacher. And it's so interesting what happens if you've never done yoga before, or if you're just starting out, you really notice, and it's all about becoming aware of your body and what kind of imbalances you might have, or what pain or what tightness, and you're like, oh, that wasn't there yesterday, or oh, that's always been there. And it's it's never just about doing the pose, right? It's always about all the added benefits that you get from practicing something like yoga. So it's so nice. It's such a nice way to start the day. And also, Mariam's amazing at interjecting little journeys and practices for us to do throughout the day that will just help and make sure that we're always high vibe and able to just allow space to grow on this retreat. So super excited to experience your yoga again. And I am all about finding your inner voice, finding your inner intuition, removing blocks that you might have that are stopping you from achieving your goals, that are stopping you from achieving your passion. We all go through things in life, and whether we realize it or not, if we don't process what has happened, for example, if we didn't cry when we wanted to cry, if we didn't have a tantrum when we wanted to have a tantrum, all of this emotion is energy, and it gets trapped in our bodies if we don't release it. And over time, more energy will be attracted to this, ball or formation, and it ends up in different parts of our bodies. So some people might have always had a sore ankle or a sore neck or a sore hip, and these things can tend to be from unreleased emotion. So I help people remove these blocks. They can definitely feel like physical pain. We all know what it feels like to have a broken heart or butterflies in our stomach. This is energy, and it can cause blockages. So I help people remove these blockages. It's all about realignment and balance and flow, so that energy can flow through, so that you can be living in alignment and going after whatever you want to be going after. So I'm a support, I'm a guide to get you where you need to go. So I'll be doing energy and spiritual healing, and as well helping people tap into their inner voice, their inner guidance, so that they can know which voice to trust and which might be their ego, or the voice inside that says you can't do that, you can't do that. So where do those live in your body, and how to access your inner trusting and knowledge.
And you hit on a great point in that there is multiple chances to have healing sessions with both of us, and that there's really powerful energy shifting at the moment on the planet. There's the high vibration that's coming through that is helping bring up more stress if you're really in the head and so forth. And then there's that beautiful flow. And so whatever is needed for you to help clear blocks and move through in that 6-week journey, then we're committed to helping you, because the magic happens when we get out of the road and let it happen. And so that's what I love and really looking forward to with this group, is the new family of people and the sharing and the authenticity that I don't know all the answers, and I don't think everyone else on this call here will say the same. It's a journey. We're all learning, but what we want to share is some proven tools that make that journey so much more beautiful along the ups and downs of reality. And the truth of being a human is that we have all sorts of emotions, but it's knowing how to use our emotions to benefit us and not hide from negative emotions and embrace it. So that's the beautiful thing, as we all learn on this journey, and it's doing it together is the thing that I love, and having sort of amazing people around on the retreat and the amazing people on this call that we work with. So that's the thing that I love about this journey. If you want to know more, sounds like a bit of an infomercial here, then stargateforest.com is the retreat center, which offers many different retreats, and it's on that is a page about the soul recharge, and there is more information there and a schedule and a bit more about the beautiful retreat center that you'll be staying at, which people say they step onto this place and it just feel, because it's surrounded by native bush, 40 acres of native bush with a lily pond, and so you can go and explore. It's just the stepping out of the normal world and into the special energy of the forest, and science has proven the benefits of nature to our mental health and physical health. So that's no accident. You come to a place like this and you just feel different. That's without actually doing anything. So that's
like entering a portal.
Yeah, nice.
Beautiful.
And there's a spa under the stars, so yeah, that's magic.
Yeah.
What is the main thing that you want people to get from this retreat?
The main thing for me is just a slither of trust. I've so much of my life struggled and battled to really feel and sense what's the right answer. I'd have these moments of amazing performance in sport and be in the zone, and I'd go through the cycle of have this phenomenal success for a period, and then I would get losing trust and doubt and having this. And so the thing for me, that if people can just get a slice of that trust and that special energy and knowing that is part of this journey, then I'll really feel like the job is done of our retreat, because that is the big thing for me, is trusting and knowing and feeling. And that's a whole different world to trying to logically understand and analyze what's happening in the world. But when you tune into that trust and everything's connected energetically, so that would be my hope, that people feel and sense that, and I'm sure they will.
How about you, Mariam?
I want people to leave feeling a deeper connection to their bodies and to feel unified, not just within themselves, but with us, with each other. So as individuals and as a unit, to feel feel what it is to have energetics play a role in your body, in your feelings, or in your emotions rather. Bring an awareness of how that plays a role in your day-to-day interactions with people. So for people to feel a sense of self-love and love for those around them, and a connection to their body and unity, that ticks all the boxes for me. Oh, and to feel full, like they've eaten really well and they're not hungry.
Nice.
And what about you, Teeny?
I would love people to leave with a real sense of self-belief and self-confidence, because sometimes we forget how truly amazing we all are.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just takes someone else to kind of shine that light onto yourself, someone to guide you. So I am so excited for people to have the chance to leave as a new person, and to also have the tools. I think it's amazing to also have these tools that are practical, that will actually help you succeed and achieve what you want to achieve. So it's just it's nourishment and self-belief.
So we have nourishment physically, yum yum yum, and the nourishment of the soul and nourishment of the family. And that the people on the retreat are really what we bond with. And it's that ability to be so open and feel supported and vulnerable. And that's the thing that I love about these retreats, is the ability to have a real connections with people and know that they have our back. And that's what it feels like with these retreats, is that everybody is on a journey and we're all learning as we go along. And I gain so much from the people on the retreat as we journey along, and we'll learn together.
Yeah.
Which is the beautiful thing.
And it can be so scary as well, opening yourself up and being vulnerable in these situations. And I will say, I will probably be the first one to cry, so I'll set the scene. It's take a little bit of guts to do this, for sure. And you're always worth it. You'll never regret investing in yourself and your growth and your life. It's an amazing opportunity, really, to just be yourself.
And that ability to be vulnerable is an interesting one, because I've given talks over the years about emotional fitness and talking about anxiety and depression. People come up to me and say, look, it's great to see a male talking openly about their emotional stuff. And because I've done so much de-shitting and releasing of, I'm really open, don't have any emotion attached to the fact that I'll cry when I'm sad, and that I regularly feel sad and will release that, or if I'm angry, I will release it. And because I've done a lot of work around that and I'm very open about that, which I guess is really the key thing that you're talking about, is we are real, we're all on this journey together, and we are going to share our highs and our lows, and that's part of the family. About the body is that it's so easy to be in the head, in that safe place, and not in the body. And the yoga is great, and There's grounding exercise is the key thing. The view from Stargate. Oh, have we done the tidy up around here?
Well, we are about to find out.
Yeah. Oh, that's about as far as we can get if we go, or let's we'll have a quick preview of the table. We're spending a bit of time on there and the view. Oh, it doesn't quite turn around enough, but the weather is stormy out there. But it's been such a pleasure to connect with the both of you and anybody that's joined us on this journey online. So thank you, everybody. A big signing off from Stargate from us. And we're looking forward to connecting with you all again soon. And thank you, team.